Ahoy there, everybody! Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 23 live feed spoilers. We be talking an HoH in this video. The endurance. We'll go through nomination plans. Yes, I am wearing a pirate hat. No one can stop me.
We will talk about why he's wearing a pirate hat because I promise there is actually a connection here. It's just probably not completely obvious. And we actually have two of them, but I decided to chicken out and not wear my hat.
Meanwhile,
instead, we have this, our Jolly Roger, which is now in Mr. Plantacular.
I be Mr. Plantacular.
Oh boy.
You be walking the plank. Okay.
Oh, please don't click off this video.
Yeah. I probably will not wear the pirate hat for the entirety of the video, but we gotta start somewhere here, right?
We do. So why is he wearing the pirate hat? I have chickened out on it. Why is this happening? Because of the HoH endurance. Now we understand that it's actually like some kind of like a BB cruise ship or whatever, but in the past this has been a pirate ship, and it's one of Matt's favorites because whenever it pops off, he gets to talk like a pirate around the house.
I be talking like a pirate when I want to talk like a pirate, and you know what? I understand that this is a stretch. I do not care, ye mateys. This is our opportunity. We are running with it. We even have the scurvy dog here.
Oh my goodness.
In order to take part in it. She is our first mate.
She is our first mate. And we actually have some new pics up at our Instagram, Matt and Jess TV from last night with our scurvy dog.
Here is the thing.
Enjoying a nice warm fire.
When we got this pirate hat for a Blacklist video earlier this year, I didn't think there would be any universe where we would get more mileage out of this within at least the next 12 months.
No, we thought that it would just be a funny thing that we were going to do, and, that would be it. But we have a little tiny short bit of housekeeping. So last week, we let you guys know that we were having some trouble with YouTube and the comments, and that our comments were disappearing. And we've been working with YouTube, and it seems like maybe it's fixed. So we're back. We're going to be commenting again. So welcome us back. No, I'm kidding.
Let's just hope that they don't become, some sort of scoundrel. I don't know what's up.
So what's happening here?
I'm trying to think of like a pirate word for an adversary. Listen, I don't speak pirate all the time, but we're all hopefully on the same page now.
Yes, we are. Okay, so let's talk about this HoH and what ended up happening here and how Derek X ended up winning this.
The first part of this, and there's a little bit of comedy that we just sort of have to go throughout this because there are some things I found genuinely hilarious. Derek F, of course, was the first person who fell. I think we could have seen that coming. But after he falls, Christian's just like sitting there, they're watching them, they're a little bit of ways away, but Derek F just like starts talking game to Christian while everyone is still up there. I'm pretty sure they probably couldn't hear him, but it was just sort of like, Derek, what are you doing? Like, this is the continued narrative of Derek F really gives, ironically, 0 Fs about this game whatsoever.
Yeah, or he just truly doesn't understand how this game works. And that's okay. Sometimes we get recruits that don't know how the game works, or people who haven't seen the game and just don't really get it, or you get into the house and you don't know what you're doing. But, maybe he saw an opportunities like, we're here by ourselves, me and Christian, we don't really talk that much, so let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah. Andrew Lawson is getting summoned in this video.
He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Let's try it.
Yeah. I love Andrew. Okay. Next up, Claire be walking the plank.
Oh
Claire was the second person.
Yeah, and she probably threw it. I mean, let's be honest. She really needed to not win this. She has safety. She does not need to get more power. Like, she really doesn't.
Yeah, I know there's no fault in that. We're not going to go through every single person, and when they fell, it doesn't matter that much.
No. So when we got to the final 3 that were still up there was Alyssa, Xavier, and Derek X.
And in the end, as we have already said, Derek be the captain now. He gets to sit in the captain's cabin of the HoH room. He gets all the booty. He gets an opportunity to just sit back, relax, get your minds out of the gutter, everybody, and just plot and strategize for the rest of the week.
Yes, and he promised Xavier safety, and he doesn't want to nominate Alyssa either. So, that's kind of where we are with this.
All right, I'm going to retire the pirate hat since the competition is over, but as I am retiring it for now, hit that subscribe button if you have not been turned away by the ridiculousness of wearing an overly large hat for a good 5+ minutes of this video.
If you like pirates, hit that subscribe button, because I promise it'll probably come out again in some other video in the future.
You never know when to expect the
Pirate Matt.
You probably actually should expect it because we hyped this up on Instagram in advance.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so we'll get into a little bit of the post-competition strategy now because there's some interesting stuff going on here.
Yeah, one of the things that I found very interesting is where Xavier's kind of landing right now, because one of the things he really tried to do is protect all of the kings. But if you're going to protect all of the kings, there's like, what about the cookout? You're kind of making it into a situation where Derek X is not really going to have anybody that he can put up and get out.
You're putting him in a nearly impossible situation. I mean, it's fine if Derek X wants to promise you safety because that be the time-honored tradition. Okay, I'm done.
You can't use that voice anymore without the hat.
I'm sorry, guys. Hat is retired. Okay, so
cut off.
If you're in a situation where you make a deal with somebody, a lot of people make deals at the end of endurances. That's fine. You can't retroactively try to amend the deal or try to be like, I want these other people. Well, not all the kings did as well as you, ultimately, Xavier, so you don't have that power.
Xavier needs to pick a lane and pick a group. Is he with the cookout or is he with the kings? He can't really be fighting for the kings like this because the cookout is going to find out. And once they find that out, it's going to be a bigger problem because if you're fighting for the kings who are not part of the cookout, then the cookout is left, to dry.
My favorite moment of the feeds was last night. It's late with the HoH room reveal, and I think it is time to officially coin the new character of Derek Gives No Fs. This is what I'm going to call him for the remainder of the season.
Yep.
Derek X gets the HoH room, and there's always this tradition of when the HoH room shows off, everybody kind of does the like all this like they ooh and ah and they like put all this on. Mm-hmm. Derek F is just, he clearly does not care, and it is just so funny to me.
No, and then there's this funny story that Derek X just truly didn't understand what production was asking of him when they were kind of like, submit photos for us sort of thing. So if you win HoH, we can put them in the room. And he initially submitted a whole bunch of selfies of himself instead of family photos because he just didn't get it.
Yeah,
I love Derek X. He's so funny. Yeah. And I truly enjoy seeing people on this show that I love seeing the Superman, but I also love people who just don't really understand what's going on or are trying to find their footing as they go. It's so funny.
It is this. I think I even
kind
tweeted,
of adorable.
I tweeted that this was actually the reason I wanted Derek X to win HoH was because I wanted to know if production actually found a way to fix this and like. Spoiler alert, I couldn't get a good view of enough of the photos but I feel like if they really were a line of Derek X selfies, somebody probably would have commented on it. And like, I love this man so much. I love how he clearly inhabited a little bit of Derek Gives No Fs going into the game and didn't bother to do any research at all.
Okay, so Derek X ended up telling Hannah about the royal flush, and Hannah had heard about the royal flush accidentally already from Tiffany, where she kind of didn't really know a lot about it or who was in it or what was going on or anything like that, but Derek X has confirmed that it exists.
It is I'm really curious about how Hannah feels about this, because you've got like Tiffany sort of nonchalantly mentioning it when Hannah's in the room, not knowing what it is. It's like, if I was finding out about an alliance later and like a couple people I'm close to including, the guy I'm pseudo-showmantic with didn't tell me right away. I don't know. I would be kind of like, why couldn't I get to be in the know about it? Why?
I think I'd be okay with it depending on the timing. The timing matters, right? So they've only really been getting close the past, week and a half, something like that. This has been going on a little while now. I think Derek X needed to build that trust. And if Hannah doesn't understand that, then I don't really know what is going on with Hannah, because she should understand that trust takes time. And a week is a very short amount of time. So, I think that she should feel good that she's built that much trust in such a short amount of time.
And in the end, she's safe. Like, she doesn't have anything immediately to worry about at the moment. She can sort of look back at this and be like, okay, this may have been a part of why I was on the block this past week, but you know what? I'm still here. I ain't going on the block this week with Derek X as my HoH.
No, absolutely not.
So who will be going on the block this week? I mean, nominations aren't for a little while, but we have kind of a general idea right now.
Yeah, I mean, originally I thought he was just going to straight up go after Sarah Beth, because Sarah Beth was pushing really hard to get out one of Derek X's allies in Hannah. I could see that he wants to make sure that Hannah's okay. The thing about Sarah Beth, though, is that she hasn't really won much of anything, and she isn't that much of a threat. And he's seen that she doesn't have that much influence, because she pushed hard and she got nowhere.
I think this may be the first time that we've mentioned this all season, the Mike Ehrman-Trout rule of no half measures, because I think you talked about picking a lane earlier with Xavier. I think Derek X needs to pick a lane here with what he wants to do. Because if it was me and I was thinking, okay, I want to target Christian, for example, I just put up Alyssa and Christian just from the start. Yes, I understand Christian can win the power of veto, but guess what then? If he wins power of veto, you can take out Alyssa. You can at least get rid of someone close to him. There's at least a little bit of effectiveness there.
Yes, breaking up the showmance around now is a good time to just get it done. Do not leave a showmance in the game for a while. The only benefit is that Derek X and Hannah have a pseudo showmance. And if you take out the actual showmance, then you are more exposed. I just think personally that Sarah Beth really is the best choice for Derek. He needs to pick a lane. And if his ally is Hannah, he needs to protect her at all costs, because Hannah's the person who's able to play next week, and he has to have her back.
Well, it seems like there's at least a chance that this could still happen, because it sounds like, Christian may be his target right now, but he is kind of half measuring Christian because he wants to nominate, as of right now, maybe Sarah Beth and Brittany. Brittany seems like 100% she's going on the block again, which is going to be so much fun for all of us getting to hear about Brittany talking about being on the block again.
Yeah, but he's talking about them like they're pawns. Like, Sarah Beth is not really the target. Brittany, we knew that she was going to end up sort of being the block star this year.
Yeah, it's just risky, because it's like, okay, what if Alyssa hypothetically plays the veto and then Alyssa wins? She's not going to use it, and then you're not getting Christian out. Maybe then Sarah Beth does become like the official 100% target.
Yeah, the real issue with this is that Derek X does not have enough allies to get someone to use the veto to pull someone off to put up Christian, because the cookout probably doesn't care who any of them goes. None of them are in the cookout. So if, Kyle, of course, doesn't want Sarah Beth to go, but that's it. And they'll be fine if they're like, oh, Brittany goes, whatever. And they don't need to put blood on their hands to take someone off to get Christian out. What's the advantage of them doing that at that point? There are other times to take out Christian where it might be a little less messy for them. Maybe someone else can do it. Like, it's just Derek X doesn't have enough allies to pull this off.
This is going to be, fingers crossed. We've had a lot of very predictable weeks. I think this week could be potentially really, really messy, because it's like, what if the Christian replacement nominee plan doesn't work, and these two remain on the block. And then we do have Azza fighting really hard for Brittany. We have Kylan fighting really hard for Sarah Beth.
Yep.
Like, the cookout could kind of go at war with themselves.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. They've been pretty dedicated to each
Yeah.
other. I think if the cookout knows that they have to sort of cut off the side partners, they will.
It's time for a new edition of I Love Tiffany, where we get to talk about how great Tiffany is. And well, you know, Tiffany, she talked to all of us this morning.
That's one of the things that I love about Tiffany, is that she does spend time talking to us.
I also love that while she talks to us, like even this morning, she would like talk to us, then she'd like wander outside, take a look around, because we know what happens with people listening at the door.
Yep, some people out there really have screwed that up in the past, and I appreciate people trying to talk to us, but you need to know you got to be aware of your surroundings. Like, that is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Say a little bit to us, double check. It's a small house.
Yeah, it's a very small house, and there's very, very sneaky people. So Tiffany, she really does like Derek X, and this warms my heart. She's like all of us. We all love Derek X too. We feel you, Tiffany.
Yep.
She doesn't want anything to happen to him right now. This is sort of a good contingency, because what if this very rare possibility happens where the cookout does go to war with each other this week? It's good to have some fallbacks.
Yeah, she is seeing him as a backup if the cookout does implode. That she's setting up other people that she's able to kind of, back out and go over somewhere else.
She's just also thinking this is a good opportunity this week, because she didn't want to have to be the one to sort of break up the royal flush or cause them any problems with it. So Derek X, if you want to get that blood on your hands, have at it. Have fun. Not that I want Derek X to get blood on his hands.
Yeah, but he's gonna.
It is just an inevitability of this week.
Yeah, it is.
So finally, we have here a little conversation with Derek X and Claire this morning, where Derek X, he's well aware that if Christian goes, he's like suddenly the biggest target in the house physically, like by far.
Yeah, he's won the most.
Yeah. And
besides Christian.
He wants Kylan to win the veto, which is funny because it's like, great, you want someone who's not even going to be eligible possibly to play in the veto to win the veto.
Yeah, it's Derek X.
You better get the house guest choice thing here, Derek X.
Yep.
You better hope the
and you better hope that Kylan actually wants to win it, because he could still be part of this competition and decide to throw it. And Kylan is not going to go out of his way to win this veto, because even though he's got a relationship with Sarah Beth, he is absolutely not going to use the veto on her. And it puts him in a really bad spot if he does win that veto, because then she's going to expect him to take her off the block. And then he is putting out there that he is clearly working with her. And then it hurts his spot in the cookout with like 6 other people, and he's choosing 1 over 6 or 6 over 1. He is not going to win that veto. He will do everything to throw that veto in the garbage.
This is going to be such a messy week. I kind of want Kylan to play in the veto now, because I want mess. We all deserve the mess at this point, guys.
Yeah, it only gets messy if he actually accidentally wins it.
By the way, Claire also told Derek X that she would nominate Christian and Xavier, which is just sort of like also incredibly messy, because just imagine the chaos that would come if that actually happened.
I think Claire needs to just not really talk about that stuff right now.
No.
She's just in a safe position right now. Just let things play out, and then maybe next week talk a little bit more about it.
There's the last thing I have to do here in this video. All right. We're back, everyone. Engage! Okay. Anyone out there remember the show Pirate Master? This show was objectively terrible, and yet I loved every single second of it. It was like, at the end of every episode, you kind of sort of got voted out. I don't even remember all the rules, but you had like these black spots or whatever, and then they sort of made you walk the plank. And then you had to just like wander out on like some weird little raft-like thing into the distance at the end of every episode. And so the question we be having for you mateys is, Who's gonna be riding out on the raft? Who's walking the plank at the end of all? In between Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney earlier this week, which kudos to the few of you who actually knew what I was talking about in the comments.
Yep.
Pat yourself on the back. And Pirate Master, we are really going mainstream this week in the Big Brother live feed update department.
Right?
Let us know everything you want to see happen this week. Give this video a like, subscribe. Thank you for putting up with our shenanigans. We be seeing you here next time.